Okay, we're counting here. Okay, get a second one today. Jan, why do I? It's May the 26th, 2025. Okay, my cord here is a little short. I'm trying to charge up my phone here at the same time. I maybe should try to move this thing up a little further here or something. Hey, just a little topic I thought I'd get into here. Top 10 prosperity preachers. Trying to think of the guy's one name. Watch him once in a while. Guru guy says give $20 to the waitress and watch her. You get all excited, watch her out the window. I think it's more about making yourself all happy. Care about the waitress. Okay? Yeah, it's all about making yourself feel good about what you're doing. Personal outfound. Okay? Yeah, the church has got into do your giving while you're living. Oh, that sounds so nice. Wouldn't want your kids and grandkids to quibble over the estate. JW's like this too. Take the entire estate. Took the farm, oil wells, everything. Guy thought he was going to get something out of it. It was helping him. He got nothing. Okay? Hey, it's not. Maybe I should have sucked up to my old uncles more. My brother sucked up to the one. God, he was really ticked off. Used to be a mayor of a town, lived in town. My brother helped him with got his farm from him. The 10 miles away and never go see the old guy again. He told me what he thought about it. Okay? How many people suck up to get what they want? Then when they got what they want, pretending nobody helped them. Okay? Financial week. Okay? Here, this episode, case of some guy, I don't even need to see his name, former pastor turned financial advisor who defrauded clients after the guise of faith known as investment preaching. Hey, read Ezekiel 34. They fed upon the sheep but did not feed the sheep. Yes, they were out yesterday at the sheep farm. If you don't feed the sheep, you don't get the wool and the mutton. You don't go running off looking for one lost sheep without having somebody there to look after them. They think the people are their sheep. Really? A farmer, unless you're a custom harvester, you don't reap what you haven't sown. Okay? What are they doing? Yeah, it goes on and on. Here, maybe get the guy's name from here. Other one I'm going to look up is the guys involved with this Masonic stuff. Masonic, yeah. Messianic. Got to say it. Some people think it's a Masonic Lodge. Okay, well, you know, different people are involved with Masonic Lodge too. Some big names, preacher guys, wouldn't want to say anything about that, would we? Why? Follow the money trail. Okay. Top 10. Okay. Oh, there we go. Olstein is 61 years old. T.D. Jakes, 67. Founder, pastor at Potter's House. Oh, I knew a guy in BC was involved with Potter House there. I didn't know it was Jakes involved with that. Myers. Oh, she's getting up there, isn't she? Okay. Creflo Dollar. Okay, yeah, that guy. Creflo Dollar. That's like living up to his name, and you can get your dollars. Okay. Hey, expect a. Oh, Copeland, yeah. Oh, 88. Oh, I didn't know he was 80. Remember 88 Reasons Why Jesus Will Come in 88? I remember that book. Okay. I thumbed through it and I'm like, nah, neat. Or year 2000, people ask me, nah. I said, nah. Okay. Benny Hinn. Oh, yeah, he's Canadian. We're from Calgary, Alberta here. Okay, I remember him. People ask me about that too. Okay, exit pages, so I don't know what this going to do. Okay, yeah, it's kind of Brian Houston. I don't know who he is. Being in Houston, Texas, maybe he's down there. I don't know. Hillsong Church. Oh yeah, I think that's Australia, isn't it? I've been over there. Okay, they love the three-wheeled spider bike made in Quebec. The aftermarket's more there. Well, they have warmer weather. I want to make it more weather where they put electric motors in the front wheels. Anybody want to work with this idea? Yeah, well, I can take it through the mountain passes to get to Arizona. I don't have to take a pickup truck all the way there. I can pull a little trailer, put some electric motors on the wheels to help go through the mountain passes. Put a hood thing. You can put it on the trailer behind when you get in warm weather. Put it over top. Okay. Um, make it more weather friendly. Okay. That keeps on popping up there. I don't know. Exit page. What's it going to do there? Okay. All this high-tech stuff. Okay. Cool. I'm not. Got to watch my phone here. I got to get a better camera soon. Okay. Hey, even Warren Buffett, the big, he doesn't independent preacher, lives modestly. These guys think it's nothing. Fly a jet around the world and then ask for more donations so you can get blessed. We make some jokes about it. Okay? They float down from heaven. You know the joke? Priests, now they call themselves more Protestant term. And in Calgary, Alberta, the clergy can have the white collars on now too, so you don't know who you're talking to half the time. And Obadiah, I was reading a book about that. Americans only put how much into some building in Jerusalem for Obadiah, 50 million or something. Oh, I'm not connected with that, are they? Okay. Obadiah, pretend they're, yeah, you can have married couples. The Jesuits are more celibate. Well, look at all the problem that came from that with their priesthood. Okay. But anyway, you got three of them sitting in the boat and they're discussing, and they have these ecumenical functions. Okay. So they're sitting in the boat discussing how much they're going to give to God. And he says, well, draw a circle, and he throws up the wood, and whatever lands in the circle, I'll give to God. The Protestant didn't want to be outdone. He said, draw the circle, whatever. I'll just keep what lands in the circle. Well, that's and the Jewish business, more business-minded, says, I'll tell you what, I'll be generous. So I'll throw it up in the sky, and whatever God wants to keep, he can keep. Okay. There's a good story for you, huh? And what are they teaching? Give to them, and it'll magically float back to you. Okay. Should look up another guy's name here. Joel Richardson. Dalton was with him. Yeah, well, he had a little thing, something like David and Bathsheba. Okay, had a little problem there. Okay, so-called saints did everything they teach. Celebrities, highest net worth celebrities. I think these actors. Who's this one guy? I think he's actually Canadian. I don't know. I can't keep track of all of them. He's the guy that had the trouble with some health problem or something too. Yeah, they die too, don't they? Gee, I wonder why. Because we're all mortals yet until we're resurrected. You know, some of them are going to be frozen, going to be revived later on when man figures out how to solve their medical problem. Sorry, I think I'll wait for the Lord to resurrect me. I think I'll trust him more than mankind. Okay, I have to have some war and so much for your chronically frozen body. Okay, on and on and on. How much? Can't think of the one guy's name now. I don't know. Just a guru. Lives in a mansion. What was I going to look up? Joel Richardson. How about we look up Joel Richardson? Okay. Who's Joel Richardson? Had Dalton with him one time. Don't know where Dalton went to now. Joel Richardson ministry. Okay, who's this guy? Yeah, he happens to be making movies too. Hey, Mr. Richardson. There's Joel's Trump, the ministry home of Joel Richardson. Yeah, he's puts out this thing for this foundation roots stuff. And right in it says, the guy in Lethbridge wanted me to take this when we were down there. We're closer to that smaller community. We're living in a small town. If you're not born there or not Mormon, you're not real welcome. Well, the guy retired there. I said, well, it might be a retirement, but most people move out. Okay? Get a little tired of, most of them were Filipinos that we knew. The one guy was away trucking most of the time. Oh. Joel Richardson Ministries. Okay. Well, this foundation class, the guy I was sitting right beside him. He says, well, Al, you're not Jewish, so it doesn't. I looked at him and says, what are you talking about? There's neither Jew nor Gentile in my Bible. What are you teaching? Okay? Like, it's post-trib.
Hey guys, it's Joel Richardson.
There you go.
Welcome to my new online ministry home, Joel's Trumpet.
There, Joel's
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
Give you a super quick tour of the new website. First and foremost, the primary purpose of the site is to
he's
serve
got all
as
the
a
high-tech gear.
For all of my free resources.
Free
So
resources,
2 years ago,
yeah.
I shifted to giving everything I have away for free. The primary purpose of being in ministry is to get the message out there and to minister to the body of Christ. And so therefore, if you click on the link for resources, you can find
You're giving stuff away for free.
articles, resources.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that would be nice. Maybe sell your big mansion, Mr. Richardson. Or William Booth, Salvation Army in England. He was a general or something. He just opened up his home and there was a shelter. Now they got these shelters. No. They got to have their own home. They made a commodity out of the poor. Big hotel in town here. Oh, old hotel. What are they going to do now? Well, I think they're going to refinance it. The government will pay the mortgage off again from their psychological addiction services. Hey, does a leopard change its spots? No, but this is what they're teaching. It's in seminary and everything. It's a form of government that's denying the power. Oh, Joel's free resource library. Oh, that'd be nice if he starts. Okay. Maybe somebody got to him. Said, what are you doing? You need to make even more money? Invite Joel now. Okay, there we go. Follow Joel's Twitter. Yeah. Oh, we can go to another website with him. Maybe he'll show his big mansion of a house down in Connecticut or someplace. The other guy is in Connecticut, Watchman River. Pray for him. He's going through some lawsuit now. The guy didn't even get the right state. And the guy happened to be in the same town for supporting him. The guy didn't like his pre-trib stuff all the time about down by the river. I kind of wondered why he was always in his SUV. You can see the back seat. You want to go sit in my old car? It doesn't even run anymore. Runs on maybe 1 2 cylinder. I took the battery out to get the other one started. It's out at Acreage, north of Calgary now to get fixed. It needs a different engine or something put in it. Yeah, let's discuss. He makes even comments. This pre-trib stuff all started with Darby. Really? Started with Darby. Well, maybe go back into this historical stuff. Who was the fellow that was learned directly from John the Revelator? Okay. Trying to think of his name now. It's way back in history. It's not just the time of Darby 1800s. Okay. So what are they trying to promote? Okay. They're trying to promote their post-trib idea, which is more Jewish, Orthodox Jewish. We can get into it right here, right now. Okay? Mr. Richardson, call me, 403-830-4124. Okay? You want to come and teach this? My wife's caught up with this stuff too. Okay? Saints with thee. No, they don't come. I wrote down White Horse. Some people want to teach that's the Antichrist coming. Nah, I differ with that. Saints with thee. There's no resurrection from the Mount of Olives. The ambassadors are already chosen. And I said that, shared that with a Lutheran fellow. I don't agree with their child baptism stuff, but he does have some of a gospel message. Thumped the pulpit once. I think he'd get reprimanded for that. Okay? Some of his own elders don't believe that Elijah went to the third heaven. Really? Okay? Where'd he go? Oh, just to another cave like Enoch. Really? That was Herb Dobber Armstrong from California, a splinter group off the UCG. Okay? They got a small Seventh-day UCG here. It's more Jamaican and Spanish. More Pentecostal style. They really get into their music, boy. The other place, it's more almost JW style. You think you're at a funeral. Okay, there's some of the JW stuff. They call it a memorial function. Yeah. Hey, they were in mourning until they realized he resurrected. And JWs are still mourning. They pass the cup and the wine around. I don't know. I took a good drink. I don't think it was fermented. Mormons had this water, I think. It's part of their sacraments. Right. Okay. Anyway, the Feast of Tabernacles. The ambassadors are already chosen. Living waters. This is happening. They have fresh water. How do you think they're surviving under Gaza? They tried to flood them out. So these things are happening. Live freshwater fish in the sinkholes of the Dead Sea. Former sea and half toward the former sea. Okay, that's from the mountains of Jerusalem. Says Jerusalem. Okay. How do you spell Jerusalem, by the way? Jerusalem. What does Jer and Lem mean? Hey, it's right there in front of our eyes sometimes. Saints with thee. And not all the Jews are super rich, by the way. Okay? But Mr. Richardson, I don't know if you're any connection with the Richardson family, the grain handling people out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Okay, Richardson. Did you get the drift there? Or should I, this Canadian Canuck, C-A-N-A-D-A. Did you get it, A? Snow again or what? There's no resurrection. The saints comes with him. Where from? Hey, so much of your post-trib idea. Okay? And by the way, pan-trib and post-tribbers, hey, if you make it into the 1,000 years, the time is cut short because there needs some mortals left to repopulate the planet. You'll be resurrected, all right. After the 1,000 years, you'll stand before the King. We will all stand. Sooner or later, hopefully sooner, okay? hopefully he'll say, well done. Some will suffer the second death. Teachers shall be held more accountable. What are you teaching, Mr. Richardson? Okay? Likes to be nice and friendly with your Hebrew Jewish friends, or some of them are learning about Jesus, Yeshua, like yourself. Hey, what are you teaching? The warnings are there. A lot of them just become this pan-trib. I was there for a little bit. Come out of pre-trib. Why? Like a lot of Americans. Hey, does a shoe really fit? Hey, tell that to people in Congo that are being martyred on their borders in Nigeria now, right now. Okay? Maybe you're only one out of the whole family that survives, and you're going to teach them pre-trib? It doesn't fit. Yeah, part of the problem, most of us have 2 feet. An odd person could maybe help us harvest the mushrooms while in a wheelchair, kind of robotic. There's my 2 feet, see? I got most of my fingers. Okay? One gibbled up finger. Thank you. Long story about that. Thank you, my brother, oil and water boy. My uncle, I thought I was exaggerating. My uncle, he kind of knew. He just cringed when he heard I had some other accidents. Why? I watch a movie sometime called The Good Son. Okay? There's really a shocker. Okay? People thought the adopted son was the trouble. No, it was the other way around. Okay? But what are people trying to teach? Here. Guy asked me, only one conversation yesterday with some ladies. They're more pre-trib, talking about Elon Musk. Well, his grandfather was just from Saskatchewan, built his own equipment or something. One company back there owned by, just found out, owned by East Indian Company now. Why? Well, most of the stuff's maybe made in China. Ship it over here, use the company's name. Made in Canada. Really? Only needs 51% Canadian content. Okay. On and on. Made in China, made in India. Hey, maybe I should have had the pneumatic blower. Probably a better quality, heavier bearings than the one made in North America. But one guy says we don't know the quality, and what I should have found out. It was just a guy. Many that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And it warns about teachers being more accountable. Hey, they asked me, what do you think about the Pope? He died. Well, what does it say here? Hey, we're all going to be resurrected sooner or later. Okay? No, we don't float off to some third heaven. See, the Orthodox Jews still believes that. That's Canaanite. Last chapter of Zechariah. Last verse. Not trader, merchant. Okay? Cain and Abel. I think the Seventh-day Adventists got some teaching about that too. But no, they don't want to give up their pagan Christmas tree. Yeah, just a decoration. When do you take a decoration you fasten to your floor with hammer and nail? Jeremiah 11, read it. What do you think the temple prostitutes were? They were like Joel Richardson probably knows some of that. But no, there's no resurrection from all. The Orthodox Jew believes the Spirit hovers around for 3 days. Why do you think Jesus resurrected Lazarus on the 4th day? He deliberately waited another 2 days. And I think he's maybe telling us something there too. It's been 2,000 years almost since he became the second Adam. One guy says, well, that sounds Mormon. Well, I can't help it. They got an odd thing, right? Nah. Take down the Christmas tree and stuff too. You know, it's like, my goodness. Sleep. We'll be going to resurrect it. Okay? How many of us believe we've float off to some never land. Okay? What are you going to say to a person after 1,000 years? Sorry, we had you tormented for 1,000 years. We had you in the wrong place. We're not the ones that judge. Okay? And it's not one to them that stumble. It's one of the stumbling blocks. I talked about a friend's funeral. Yeah, he was part native. Where does the drinking problem start? The home wine on the communion cup. You drink the whole cup. Really? After 62 weeks shall Messiah. Daniel chapter 9. But what do they want to read 27? Oh, that's not in context with the rest, and that's all in the future. That's some sort of thing that happens on the future third temple. Mr. Richardson, what are you teaching? Like, my wife got out of one boat, the Sunday stuff, with her Filipino friends. Learned about the Sabbath in Lethbridge, and went right to the other boat. Why? This is what people are doing. Because we're not taught to get out of the boat. We're taught to stay in the ark, where the ark is sinking. It sounds nice. Noah was preserved in the ark. Take it in context with Lot. Lot had to get out of the city. And they both died after their event. They both need resurrected. And Lot, the opposite the building, is tearing down. What are they doing? They pick and choose to promote their agendas. Okay? Oh, this sounds so reasonable. It's all in the future. Really? Go to Matthew 24. Because of iniquity. Oh, we just change that word. It's so... one guy says, I don't know what it means. He's actually Canadian English. I says, well, look it up in a dictionary or Google it. Okay, I should look it up on Google, see what they do say. Well, we do knowingly and willfully transgressing his written word. Not just lukewarmness, lawlessness, like the laws of the land or what. Shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. How does a candle turn cold? My wife lights up the Friday night candles and stuff. The other night, Sabbath is over. She's got this torch. You think the place is burning down. Okay. 3 candles wrapped up together. Just like fry an egg or what? Love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, there's scavengers of the air, land, and sea. And a lot of the things we're doing agriculturally is not very good. I can get into that. Eat the very best you know how, where you're at. Yeah, if you don't like the idea, maybe it's grilled on the same. Don't go into the back of the kitchen and then when you get checked out, call yourselves being persecuted. Like, the guy was technically right, maybe, but you got a trail of blood following behind you, guy, because you're, messed up Jew, learning about Yeshua. Says he's being persecuted. Okay, well, yeah, some places sometimes. But sometimes we just bring it on ourselves, don't we? Okay, I just go around singing. I don't have a permit. I go around singing. I was singing on the street the other day. A guy let me have the microphone. He was going to pack up his drums because it started raining. Spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Well, this sounds reasonable, that it's a repeat of the second temple. Sounds reasonable enough, doesn't it? The abominations. What is an abomination? It's a transgression of his written law. So, 4th commandment, yeah, you could say is an abomination. You do it knowingly and willfully. But no, they don't want to learn true Sabbaths. Passover is a high annual Sabbath. Are they true Sabbath keepers? Or just legalistic 7th Saturday? Yeah, I think the guy knew exactly what I meant when I asked him that. You probably heard it. Yeah. got his fancy little toy truck outside there. Okay? All decked out like a... Well, you see in the Philippines, they do this. They're little... They call them jeepies. Deck them out. It's a stretched old Jeep. They use it as a bus. Haul people around. And they don't have tax deductible donations there. They call it a love offering. No, you appreciate somebody, so you... But what do we do? Oh, we want to be a good steward. We want to have a tax deduction. So we do what? And we don't even say thank you to the person. Okay? I gave one guy $10 directly. I said, he looked at it and says, I don't want to hear anybody complaining. I just coming for the nice little Filipino lunch. Okay? And here's the $10 already. Okay? I can go down to the restaurant and eat them. That's what I'm going to get. Yeah, one lady didn't like what I said in their Sabbath school, so she gave me static. Okay, so we kind of take care of the problem. Other times, sorry, I'm fasting, I don't need to eat. Okay, one guy, I think, saw him at the Hebrew group. I gave him $10. I got scolded, mocked for doing that outside. Okay, the guy's he knows some Hebrew, he does some canting, but what's his whole attitude about? You can't help a guy with $10 because of the, you know, I'm not, don't know. Hey, there's my phone number, Mr. Richardson. Okay. That financial guru guy, still can't think of his name now. Driven Church? No, he calls us. That was being used one time at the little more Spanish Jamaican Seventh-day Church of God. It's up the hill from the big place that... Where'd they get the money for the big building? Hey, the places in Saskatchewan are closed up. The sons are working here. The father dies. Hey, richest man in the graveyard. We used to make jokes about that. You know why the Pacific Ocean is so salty? The farmers crying all the way to Hawaii. Yeah. The ones that have the most tend to cry the most. One guy, a nice new fancy truck, says, farming must be going pretty good. He says, yeah, the difference between the old truck and repairs and a new truck, I just will enjoy it while I have it. He's working for the bank. They own the whole block, dock, and barrel. Maybe he has his grandfather's little farm. That's about it. Love of many shall wax cold. I don't think a dietary thing causes people's love to wax cold. I think it's teaching a covetousness being called good Christian stewardship. Because you put it in the offering plate after taking it from wrongly. The pastor didn't want to deal with it. The guy didn't want to pay me. What? Oh, don't look after your truck and it's got some repairs. I guess if the engine blew up, I would owe you $10,000? Yeah, that's what it costs. You know, one guy put $20,000 in his Pride and Joy Peterbilt, had it rebuilt because he didn't want to buy a new one. New ones were not reliable. That was several years ago. And then he totaled off in Edmonton anyway. Why? He drove like a Mad Hatter. Wife told me some immigrant coming down an on-ramp. Oh yeah, blame the immigrant. Yeah. 2 trucks playing for the same spot. Would the guy get over or tap the horn or whatever? No. It happened down in the U.S. A little further up. Oh, vehicle stopped. Couldn't see the side of the truck. Saw the side of the car. It's all crumpled up. Okay. Why? They hit? Guy totaled it off. I don't know if the other guy ended up in the hospital or not. He ended up in the hospital with punctured lung or something. Could have killed him. Hey, it's not my problem. He's got a yield sign. Boom. But he didn't think dietary thing. He wanted to eat meat, bear meat. I met him one time for the paycheck, and he was telling another guy about this bear sausage he made. And then one guy, senior, walked by. He says, heard this. He says, "You eat that stuff? You ever seen what a bear eats?" Oh, that was that Pentecostal Baptist type place or something. Not into the dietary stuff. We figure whatever we pray over is sanctified. My wife gives me static. Not every word coming out of my mouth is always sanctified. Okay? Don't say the F-bomb word in Canada. Truck drivers, oh wow. Language gets pretty foul. Okay? The love of many shall wax cold. Covetousness. And we call it good Christian stewardship. And we want a tax deduction too from this atheistic government system. That's being called good Christian stewardship. Right from the places that people perceive to be a holy place. It's happening. Not some future third temple. Now. Here's one. The carcass, there will the eagles be gathered together. Hey, where are the eagles gathering? Downtown city? No, on the mountaintop. Stars falling from heaven. Hey, the Adventists like to talk about that at different events. And the Lisbon earthquake and all this stuff. So, yeah, they had all this timed out. So, 1844, it's going to happen. Hey, my one son would... I couldn't even see a plane in the sky. He's saying, plane, plane. I wonder he didn't become a pilot. Okay. Remember that movie? The plane, the plane, the plane. Okay. What show was that? The Love Boat or something? I can't remember. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those shall be shortened. Well, gee, we're going to be resurrected anyway. So what does it matter? And when we're resurrected, the mortal becomes immortal, corruptible. I won't have gray hair. Yeah, I have gray hair now. That's why they couldn't recognize Jesus on the Garden Road. He wasn't 33 years old. We can use voice print in courtroom. Well, hey, you recognize somebody when they phone, you don't have to see their picture. You recognize the voice. Okay? Once we're adults, I mean, these tenor singers and their voice start cracking. Why? Because you're going in, no longer just a kid anymore. Anyway, I believe this is talking about a time cutting short. So there is mortals still on the earth to repopulate the planet. Okay? That's after he comes to the Mount of Olives. See? We gotta discern. Okay? No man knows the exact hour or day but the angels of heaven. Well, when was this written? That was when he was still on earth. That's before he ascended. Where is he now? On the right hand of the Father. So I guess he hasn't talked to the Father for over 1,000 years. Like what? No, he says, we can look it up. I think it's John 5:15 or something. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Oh, there is a resurrection of life. Grave shall be open. Ba-da-da-da. So that doesn't include Matthew. So they try to say, oh, Matthew was exaggerating. Really? Matthew was a little bit different, written to the Jews. So everything, the wine, everything. He walked on the water, everything. That was prophesied that he would do. Yeah, the blind shall see. That was a sign that Jews looked for, but they didn't even want to accept that as he was being their Messiah. No, they were politically appointed by Rome too. Expedient that a man should die rather than the nation. They weren't worried about the poor and the downtrodden, the poor. Okay? Rahab the harlot was maybe forced in this situation into Jericho. Maybe that's another reason she was rescued. Okay? Maybe that's why she helped the Jewish spies. You ever think of this whole thing through? Like you just happened to help these fellows? No, I think she knew. She knew some things, but she was being forced in this situation in Jericho, and God knew she was being forced in, and He rescued her out of it. It's like Peter. Preacher says, we don't know why his sister or something got killed on a motorbike. Well, okay, maybe you should have this microcircuit airbag. Yeah, it's bad when you hit a deer with a motorbike. But a guy in BC survived something like that. And he says, I don't know why. Well, sometimes it's not for us to know. But maybe because Peter was doing different things, maybe that's why the jail cell doors opened up or an angel came or whatever. Like, maybe we do some things for other people once in a while. Maybe, things do come around. Oh, we make some stories because somebody stepped out in little faith. Hey, I can say stories. I didn't put it on and I wasn't struck by lightning dead. Like, give an IOU. I gave one guy my little DeWalt tools. A day and a half later, I bought a $1,200 item for less than a quarter of the price. Just happened to be there. I seen it on sale. I was kind of interested. And girl came out and put a sticker on for way less money. Okay? Just happened to phone my wife. Just happened to get the money from helping somebody else repair their garage door. Okay? Yeah. Just happened. Really. Search the scriptures. In them you think you have life, but you refuse to come to Him. Yeah. Mr. Rabbi Singer. You know so much? Oh, whoa, this is in the New Testament. Sorry. John, I was going to 15:55. Or I forget. It says, I could look it up. Look it up on the computer, maybe on the phone here. He calls us Lazarus friend, and he mentions, I call you friends, and I tell my friends what my Father tells me. Yeah, mysteries being revealed. This is Zechariah chapter 5. The missile's going off. Talent of lead. But the preacher doesn't want to look at it. It's missiles from Shinar, Iran. It's happening. No, it's not. Okay, the Feast of Passover, see? Okay, that's referred to in Israel as a high annual Sabbath. Did you know that? I kind of didn't know that until I got there. Yeah. Happy are those that do them. 15:15 maybe. Might not be underlined in this one. Here it is. Henceforth I call you. What does it say? I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not the will, but I've called you friends. For all things I have heard of my Father, and I have made known unto you. What? He tells us, the Holy Spirit, that's the power of God, by the way, coming down on Jesus. He is Yeshua, our salvation. That's what the word means. He didn't have to get baptized for salvation. So enough of this, we got to get the little kid sprinkled, I think, and the Protestants kind of, we wouldn't want to, the grandparents want to have their grandkid baptized. I mean, we got to, in case the kid happened. No, come on. We're held accountable. Unfortunate things happen. He will not be held to a greater accountability than those that the teachers. The teachers are warned about you think you're so smart, you think you're the teacher, you will be held to a greater accountability. Okay? It warns about it. So don't, some people in some foreign country that hardly even have anything, if they believe the little bit they do have, they're only held accountable for what they could learn. Okay? Well, what do? Oh, well, we got how many different versions, and we don't like what it says, so we have to have something else. It says, go sell all you have to the rich young ruler. But he didn't like that. He thought he was doing already good, and he went away sad. No one unto you. Oh, so you plucked one verse. No man knows exact hour or day. But it clearly recognizes seasons. He's not talking winter, summer. He said he'll put signs in heaven. What do you think April 8th, happened to be number 8, 2024, okay, solar eclipse is all about in the USA? Hey, Mr. American, just another shadow of the sun. That's what a lot of Canadians figure. I got impatient, I guess. Should have had more loving and patience with the former Roman mystic guy, leaning toward atheism, and other guy was trying to, and the guy was just, finally I told him, if you actually believe 2 rocks came from Norway, nowhere, that's my ex-wife, Norway, okay. By the way, they made photoelectric smoke detectors mandatory there 3 years ago already. Go ahead and check your smoke detector. Ionization takes 30 minutes longer to go up. That's life and death from lithium battery fires. Okay. Yeah, these preachers, we'll say some magic words, it'll be on. Everything will be okay, and put it on the offering plate now. Really? Guy was a guru type guy. 50-50 chance of having a boy or a girl, and he got it wrong. Really. But he's the great guru. Like Perry Stone. Everybody likes a little baby. He goes back to this, okay? He was coming out of it. And he goes back to it. Now every thought that comes into his head is a divine revelation. Pentecostal style. Oh boy. It's just other verses, like line upon line and precept upon precept. And precept is a little bit different from line upon line. Okay? It's pointed unto one man once to die. The second death is warned about. Okay? But Lazarus got to die again. Pardon? They don't want to deal with it. They just say something off the top of their head, and most people don't catch it. Well, I catch it. I tend to go down these rabbit trails and find out what's down the rabbit hole. You're not going to find the pearl just floating on the top. It's at the bottom. Okay? The gold detection. Guy doesn't want to rent me his gold detection equipment. He's too busy motorbiking around. In the wintertime, he's snowmobiling around and wants to modify snowmobiles and wants to go 200 mile an hour. And then he got ticked off at me because I guess I talked too much. Well, he's the one that called me. Like, what? Why do you call me? He just wanted to pump me for some information on crowdfunding. I couldn't even remember hardly what it was. I studied a little bit. California is as much population all of Canada. Why would I be involved with a banking system just in that province of Alberta? There's only 4.5 million people here. Hey, I'm going to do crowdfunding. I want to go where there's some bigger numbers. What do you think a lot of the franchise systems, even if they started in Canada, Tim Hortons tried to take it to Canada. It didn't go over big. Okay? Dunkin' Donuts came here for a while. It didn't go over big. Target came to Canada. It didn't go over big either. They found out they're different. Why? Oh. Canadians talk the talk, but we tend to not walk the walk as much. We will criticize the government, and then we turn around and wait for the government to tell us what to do. Like, what? And we think we change an odd person at the top, everything's going to change. The receptionist is still at the same Premier's office. I have issues with her. How'd she get that job? She still keeps the job. Okay. Hey, you changed, got a new president, all the problems getting solved. Pretty sad when we look to man to solve our problems, you know. It's like, yeah, we're all human. Okay? No, we're not immortal yet. Not until we're resurrected. What do we believe in? Oh, float off to Never Never Land. Hey, we're all going to sit there and have a gay old time and float off to Never Never Land and pre-trib rapture before any problems. Really? Get back to my feet. We're trying to fit 2 feet into 1 shoe. It doesn't fit. How many candles on the menorah? 7 eyes to see. He's referred to as Yeshua, the center candle. There's 3 on each side. Enoch was in the first 1,000. Figure it out. Matthew 27. The resurrection of many happened. Where are we at? Yeah. And 7. Revelation 21 is new heaven and new earth. Is the 8th event. Yeah. New beginning is 8. 7 is a number of completion, like days in our week. Okay? And by the way, all our high-tech, wonderful, we think we're so smart. Yeah. The size of the New Jerusalem coming down. And we're not even 100% sure what the length of a fathom was, what they used. It's within 10% of our present high-tech knowledge of the size of the moon. How did John the Revelator know that? Because it's inspired Word of God. Yeah. People say, oh, it's just man-made written. Yeah, okay. And then we can change it if we want to. Yeah. Goes on and on and on. If they shall fall away, renew them again unto repentance. And then, what? Supposed to be baptized again. June 1st, east of Calgary, Little Lake, Chestnut Lake, baptism. 1,400. Ladies talked, they couldn't remember the exact number. I said 1,400, and 2 years in a row in Texas, and then up the coast, coming north as it warming up. Hey, I would like to see some of the Americans come up here. Hey, because they might just tell me no, then we'll go do it ourselves. The guy was even reluctant to do me again, and the Jordan River was kind of traditional. I already talked to the Jewish group that was being heckled at the Jordan. They were doing at the Sea of Galilee at the resort area. Yeah. So much around us. What were some of the people there for? To actually learn. That's why the guy was working on the flower beds. He wanted to know. Okay? Just missed my breakfast. The next day he showed me the banana plantation. I saw the drones flying 3 to 4 times longer on a methanol fuel cell. Where do you get the methanol fuel? That's how we make windshield washer fluid. I don't know how to make it. I know some of it. I talked to the chemical guy. He didn't know. He said, well, you're going to have a carbon to make it from the hydrogen, underground hydrogen, what CPKC is testing out. Yeah, from abandoned oil wells. Hey, this is who I am. I go down rabbit trails all the time to find out stuff. I'm not a bean counter, administrative type person. My wife is. She thinks she knew so much about ants. She says, what do the ants save up for the winter? I said, it's just springtime in Canada. They're coming out of hibernation yet. Yeah. They have to dig down far enough to get past the cold. In Saskatchewan, we have to have the pipes 6 feet down. Up north, they have it on top. They circulate the water because it's permafrost. Not like in Mexico or southern U.S. there. They don't practically even need hot water because the water's coming warm. It's just under the sidewalk, like in Hong Kong. Like what? You pull a few things off, a little bit of sand, and you got the pipes there. Not in Canada. It's 6 feet down. In southern Alberta, it's not quite as bad. That's why the feedlots are in southern Alberta. Okay? Why is the big feedlots in Kansas and not in North Dakota? Hey, they have more confined space, barns and stuff up there. That's cold there too. They get caught going to the West Coast, lost wages. They live under the floodways. Hopefully it doesn't flood in the middle of winter or on the desert. Okay? I saw them. I was at the Calgary show in Nevada. Hey, I think that show's doing okay. Why? It's a party town for the northern people. The guy even booked his airfare for his own, took his whole family down there. I told him, okay? I said, you booked a trade show, you take your whole, it's a business trip. I went to Hong Kong on this, okay? The government they travel around on our dime. The preachers are traveling around, gets back from Israel, goes on a conference on a Caribbean cruise boat, gets back teaching about how to be blessed more. Yeah, give them more. Gets back from Ottawa now, Canada. Ecumenical function, talking about how many people believe out-of-body stuff. Like, what? Talking about, he's Messianic, talking about being with the Baptists. It's ecumenical function. Promise keepers, ecumenical function. Read their Tree of Life, Hebrew style. I looked in the front. My wife had to get that book too. It's buy the latest, and then she hardly reads these things. Okay? I look in this more than she does. Hey, I got time to waste sometimes. I guess that's why I'm doing. But she debated me about Daniel being separate. Well, there's Daniel right there. In with Esther. Ecclesiastics. This is the wisdom section. How come it's not in with Isaiah and stuff? Oh, because they put it in a different category. Because Daniel has got times and things written in there. That was a little bit too much to the point. So we don't want to put it in one. Okay. Here's one here. It says, when a feast of the Jews. So it doesn't say, and I wrote it in, it's probably Purim. It's not such a well-known. That's kind of in Israel, that's kind of like their Halloween. It's party time in Tel Aviv. Where do you think they have more abortions? Yeah. How come in the northern part, 2/3 are taken out? Well, how many abortions since the last? This is part of their problem with their parliament. The other populations, something like our native groups in town here, are having the big families. Why? A lot of the girls, time they're 30, are grandmothers. Okay? The grandparents are looking after the kids. Okay? Huh. Here. People are trying to have kids, mothers, when they're in their 30s. Okay? My mother was half my dad's age. I outlived my mother. The little Filipino girl, 50 years difference, flying around the helicopter in Texas. She didn't care. Has a couple kids. Might be a battle over the state now. She didn't care. It's a ticket out of the country. A lot of Filipino guys resent the foreigners. Why? I talked this with a guy from Nigeria. His wife's Filipino. Okay? Why? It's a ticket out of the country for the girls. Is that why Solomon had so many wives? And wasn't this happened in Peru? 70% of the men were killed. The guy came from Scandinavia, Gustafson. Big farmers in Saskatchewan, name it Gustafson. Everybody, Scandinavia, maybe they came from Scandinavia, maybe they didn't. Maybe they came from Peru. The guy had how many kids? So some of them come here. I don't know. The guy was an MP in federal government. Okay? They get this thinking they're royal families or something. Came from Nazareth. Synagogue of the Sabbath day. The guy reads, he likes King James, synagogue of Satan. Now that's when you take a fellow believer into secular court. Paul talked about it. So then they kind of a derogatory term here of the Satan of take me to court. Yeah, but it's the rich people that are taking other people to court. The average person can't afford the time and day and hopefully you get paid, on and on and on. I told people, work it out. Okay? Figure it out. Take something on barter traders. Do something. Okay? Over an hour here now. Okay. It's getting on in the morning still yet here, but this is the second one for today. Did one yesterday. I'll try to save this one up now. You have a good day. Pray for the fellow in Watchman River. I guess he's getting sued by some guy. Guy didn't have the right state even. And he was worried about it. Yeah, well, I put my name and number right out there. Mr. Richardson. Call me. Mr. Financial Guru. Oh, what's his name? Anyway. Some people maybe know what. I used to hear it on the radio all the time. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Do the opposite what the majority of people are doing. The majority seldom right. My mom had that thinking is do the opposite what the government suggests to do. Hey, they're patting their own pocket. I told my stepson that. He's in San Diego where that plane wreck happened. I knew it. And yeah, he was working on the power line there too. Okay, but I believe he paid for his Porsche car. I heard him in New York. The other brother-in-law says, well, what makes you so certain these medical stocks are going to stay up? He made a phone call. A month later, he had a Porsche car. Where'd the money come from? I told them the government boys are padding their pocket on this medical marijuana in Canada. I says, what? Make sure which one you're going to put. Then he thought he was the big investor. I said, how come Martha Stewart and Conrad Black to jail time? One lady in Calgary should have kept her mouth shut. She made $150,000 on the stock of the oil company. Okay, well, somebody ratted her out. She went through court. Cost her $400,000. Okay. Make examples out of a few. The preacher guy. Pardon from Missouri. Can't remember his name now either. I have sometimes I can't remember. Yeah, terrible called Canadian snow again, huh? Big freight train got east Regina stuck in the snowbank one time. We had so much snow. Hey, now we're being told it's climate crisis, right? How warm was it in the UK 500 years ago? Well, what do we care? Well, they happen to have vineyards there. They froze 250 years ago when the volcanoes went off. Two of them in Mexico, southern Mexico, now going off another one. Okay. And do you think this doesn't affect the weather? Really? Mr. American, how come the hurricanes occur mostly on the East Coast? Where do they start? They could start off the coast of Africa. The volcanoes are in the ocean there. When lava was flowing in Hawaii, we saw the steam. You think the fish weren't getting killed? Okay. What? And the hurricane occurred on the west side. California side. I knew that because his stepson's in San Diego. He had the mass from the Philippines. Canadians are taking tutoring at the library. They're flunking. Okay? So he flew me down there to talk. He sold this real estate last fall here. Why? It's coming down. They're hiding it. Okay? More fires in the Toronto area now. Why? Hey, you're losing $1 million or $2 million on a great big mansion of a house. Try to torch it and see if you get to. You think they're going to stay here for the court? Nah, come on. The trucker protests in Ottawa, Canada. What do you think that was really all about? Took me 9 months to get paid. Federal Labor Board, interprovincial trucking. Really. Guy from the UK was fed up with it. The truck was 100% as an immigrant by Volvo. He had this plane ticket in the pocket. Who got burnt on the trucks? Our mainstream media is not telling us dillies. Right at City Hall. Okay? Should be known in the city gates. Oh, we're told to pray for our leaders. Okay, I'm not in Ottawa. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. And so why am I not down there at City Council once in a while? Did I ever see any preachers there? No. Go to the golf course. Hey, maybe that's what Watchman is doing down at the river. Maybe he's checking out the parking lot. See who's in the parking lot. Be surprised. They're too busy? Too busy doing what? Playing golf on expensive golf courses? Okay? Too busy. Really? I seen that little town, Manitoba. Guy was too busy. Then I seen him biking down the street, sitting by himself at the Tim Hortons, which is in only one in the whole town. Okay, only one McDonald's. Kind of an interesting town. Mennonite church on every other corner. The other groups are moving in. They'll rent rooms at the library to them because they have a tax deduction number. Yeah, Mormons, JWs, everything else moving in. Okay. Oh yeah. The cabbies were well liked. Oh, they give them why? So they can maybe get them down to their Islamic function at the library. Oh. Follow the money trail. It tells you lots. Okay. Amos. Here's something to talk. People, ladies saying they're Palestinian. Okay, well, read Amos chapter 1, verse 7. Send a fire on the wall of Gaza. Transgression of Gaza. Hey, didn't you know it was in here? Shall perish the Philistines. Where do you think they got the name Palestine from? Roman named it that. Okay? Zephaniah 2. It's in there. Okay? How come they talk? They talk the talk, but do they really walk the walk? They're playing on the golf course. They're playing around. Haven't got time? Haven't got the time for what? They don't want to take time. They got a good thing going. What? Over an hour. Have a good day. It's May the 26th. Coming up the end of the month here. Yeah, sold some silver coin with the truck drivers. You think they had all the money sitting in the bank account? Come on. Okay? No, and I don't believe the provincial ATB. We've got ATMs, but this is called ATB, Alberta Treasury Branch. It's the only bank in all of Canada owned by a provincial government. Okay? And Ottawa was ready to march the army on that. Most people don't even know that. You can work, go to school here, work at that bank, and they don't know the history. I know the history. Why? My uncle was friends with the former premier. Have coffee with some of these people. I go to Carriage House Inn. My stepson paid his mother's birthday present. I celebrate Hanukkah. It's the conception. But the Filipinos, it's just an excuse for another party. Birthday this, birthday that. Okay, let's have another birthday party. Hey, you don't have a function without food at a Filipino function. Yeah. One Filipino guy even commented on that. Oh, I just got my camera sitting there down on the floor. Joel Trumpets, the ministry home of Joel Richardson. About New York Times bestseller. Hey, maybe he knows that other guy down in New Jersey too. He's online. Had the Christmas tree at the back. Oh, how convenient. Yeah, buy your latest book, latest version. What's his name? Let's see here. I was down in New York checking out stuff like this. I think I figured out how Trump made his money in real estate too. And you find out the Canadian casinos, now it's clean money, you know. Al Capone did jail time in Alcatraz. Hey, there's maybe finding some more stuff at Alcatraz. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Half of this stuff is clickbait and stuff you don't know. Mount Zion in Arabia. Bad for names this morning. I should take some of my wife's brain function. There, brain function. Okay? Her memory's even worse than mine. She's younger than I am. Okay? Maybe I'll have to take some more of this. Seem to have brain farts on names this morning. Problem. Okay? Alright. You have a good day. Bye-bye.